Everybody on their feet. All right, we're gonna do this in a little while, so you may as well get used to it. Turn to your neighbor, say, "I'm a champion. I was born a champion." Woohoo! All right, good job. Okay, sounds like we're ready. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here. You ready to have some fun? Say yes. 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 Okay. So tonight we have our fat burning fitness / weight loss workshop, and if you want to lose weight, feel great, and have your healthiest year ever, good for you. You're in the right place. If you want to learn how to turn your body into a full-time fat burning machine, and it's more about that than just losing weight, then we're going to show you how to do that. We're going to get very, very specific, very granular tonight as far as all of the things that you need to learn, and most importantly, apply. What's more important than information? Application. Application. Information without application is hallucination. And I'm going to teach you how to not hallucinate tonight. Fair enough? Okay, so what do we have next month? We have our detoxification workshop. Ooh. Turn to your neighbor and say, ooh. Turn to your other neighbor and say, ah. I told you you're going to have some fun tonight. So next workshop, we have detoxification. How many of you guys would agree there, on some level, you need to give your body some attention with detoxification? Yeah. The question is not whether or not you're toxic. The question is, how toxic are you? We're all toxic at some level. This planet, this body we live in, just absorbs toxins, and we have to learn about what they are. We have to learn what it does to your body, and we need to learn what to do to get your body to get that stuff out. So that's what we're going to talk about. Now, on some level, toxicity causes your body to hold fat, to store fat. So that would be important that we touch on a little bit of that tonight. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah. So we will. But make sure you mark it in your calendar tomorrow, 4 weeks from now. All right, so let's dive right into this here. Obesity-related conditions take an average of 8 years off of your life expectancy. The average person who has high blood pressure, heart conditions, fatty liver, stroke, cholesterol, cancer, diabetes, then on top of that, back, hip, and knee degeneration. Being in practice almost 30 years now, I can tell you there is a 100% correlation with the people that I take care of who are overweight and also have problems with their knees. They have to have surgery with their knees, lower back, disc conditions, back conditions. So when you look at what it's all connected to, realize that we're going to get to the bottom of it tonight. Sleep apnea also. So when you gain weight, you are destined at some point to be dealing with some level of sleep apnea. So we're going to talk about all this tonight, and we also are going to give you the solution to backing out of that. If you're dealing with any of that at any level, just understand that if you lose 22 pounds, you're reducing your risk of a heart attack by what? 75%. If you lose 15 pounds, you're reducing your risk of diabetes by what? 50%. If you lose 10 pounds, you're doubling your chances of normalizing what? And think about all the medication that many of us take, or loved ones, family members, friends, for all these conditions. And when you go to the doctor, you may lose 10 or 20 or 30 pounds, but if you don't pipe up and speak up for yourself, how long will you be on those medications for? Forever, because that's just the standard of care. So I'm sharing this with you tonight in hopes that there may be a handful of in here who are looking to do that. And it's all about results, and that's what I'm hoping that we get out of this tonight. Don't you? Yeah. So how many of you guys have dieted before? Raise your hand if you've dieted before, you've lost weight. Put your other hand up. Keep that hand up. Put your other hand up if you gained it all back. And then some, yes. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt and the hat. And I can tell you that what I want you to understand tonight is there's a reason why you always gain weight back after you diet. It's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. It all has to do with one thing called your what? Your metabolism. Yeah. So when you cut calories and you lose weight, what you're doing is you're slowing your metabolism down in the process. If you don't have a very specific protocol or strategy to fix your metabolism and raise your metabolism while you're cutting calories and starving yourself, your metabolism is not speeding up, it's not correcting, it's what? Slowing down. So that's the problem. And then after you lose your 10 or 20 pounds, it's not too difficult to lose 10 pounds on your own. It happens very quickly, and you can do it with any diet. You could do it with Weight Watchers, you could do it with Atkins, you could do it with the Daniel diet. I mean, it doesn't matter. They all work in terms of helping you lose weight real quick, right? We've all done that. But it's not a long-term solution. It's only a quick fix because none of them actually target the metabolism and reset that and fix your weight set point, which is in your brain. And that's what I'm hoping to help you understand tonight. How do you do that so that you don't keep spinning your wheels, so you lose the weight and you learn how to break through and actually keep the results permanent? So that's what it's about. Unless you burn fat and you reset your metabolism, you're always going to gain the weight back and then some. Because when you slow your metabolism down and then you start eating normally again, your body's just going to put all that weight back on and then some more. So you're raising your weight set point every time you do a diet so that you gain more and more back. And it is frustrating to say the least, isn't it? It's very frustrating. So let's talk about some keys to correcting the metabolism. Number one is to balance hormones. Number two is to eliminate toxins. And number three, I'm going to share with you the nerve system connection related to all this as well. Because I told you, where's your weight set point? In your brain. And that has a little bit to do with your nervous system, that which we take care of for you if you're under chiropractic care. So let's talk about balancing your hormones. The first aspect I'm going to talk about is from an exercise standpoint. Now, I will tell you that you don't have to exercise to lose weight. You don't have to exercise to lose fat. You don't have to exercise to stimulate your metabolism. But if you do like to exercise, like Carlos, can I just throw you under the bus? Because you're a workout maniac. I thought I was bad. So if anybody knows Carlos here, he's in the best shape that you'll ever see a 50-year-old man. I knew I'd get a laugh. I'm not going to ask, we're not going to sing happy birthday. But he is in phenomenal shape for his age because I don't know anybody who invests more in their health and spends more time proactively, preventatively taking care of himself. Many of us do, but him in particular. So I want you to understand that if you're somebody like Carlos or myself that likes to exercise, you want to get the most out of this. You want to get the biggest return out of the whatever time you're going to invest into exercise. Thankfully, when we exercise for fat burning, you don't have to do it for very long. And because what it comes down to is getting the right type of exercise to get your body to burn fat, all comes down to the effect that you have after you exercise, not while you're exercising. So you see the guy on the left there, the jogger. You see how he's emaciated, he's lean, he looks old and tired. That looks like how I felt after I used to go for runs for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours when I was training for the marathon. Now, you're burning a lot of calories when you're out on a run for 45 minutes or an hour or 2 hours, right, Drew? You can go out there for a long period of time. You're burning tons of calories. But the after effect in terms of the hormones is not conducive to fat burning. What it does is it raises cortisol. And when cortisol goes up, it takes something with it called insulin. And what you're going to learn tonight is when you raise insulin levels, you're not burning fat, you're what? Storing it. Yeah. So long duration, low intensity exercise that you do when you jog or you go for a long bike ride and you keep your heart rate moderate is not conducive to fat burning because the after effect after you exercise is fat storing, not fat burning. It also it weakens your immune system to some degree. All the studies, all the research points to when you do what Bert's training is, like if you look at the sprinter over there, lean and muscular, it's because the very high intensity exercise for short bursts, after that exercise stimulates growth hormone, which is what's necessary for what? Building muscle. And the more muscle you have, the more it's going to help stimulate your metabolism. So you need to have the release of growth hormone and testosterone and dial in all those factors. And the only way to do that is with high intensity, short duration. Now this may be a little bit of a challenge for some of us because we got bad knees, we got bad backs, we got bad ankles, we got bad shoulders, we got bad this, bad that. So I thought about that, and I actually asked some of you guys. So I have some solutions. So let's just finish up with this. As I said, human growth hormone is released from the intensity of the exercise. Fat is mobilized post-exercise when you do high intensity. Increases the growth of the muscles. And you know, as you get older, what happens to your muscle mass? Automatically. It goes down. That's why weightlifting is so important. You don't have to be a bodybuilder, but for goodness sake, get yourself a set of heavy hands. There is more and more and more and more research coming out every month, every year, showing the overlooked benefits of weight training as anti-aging. And I'm telling you guys that if you're not doing it, you're missing the boat. You could be taking vitamins till the cows come home, but if you want to stay young and fit and strong and healthy, you know, and maintain this, the only way to do that is to maintain muscle mass by what? Weight training. Yeah, doing some level of weights. Go to Walmart, get yourself some heavy hands, do something. Don't just go for brisk walks and things. I'm a big fan of brisk walks. I love doing brisk walks. But there's no substitute for weightlifting in terms of the testosterone, the growth hormone, and the muscle mass that you need on your skeletal system to stop skeletal wasting. Muscle wasting is what makes you feel old and flimsy and flabby and weak and predisposes you to breaking hips, bones. That's why we see it in the elderly. My dad came over, my mom and dad came over, we were having dinner on Saturday, and my dad was on Instagram. I don't go on Instagram, I don't have Instagram. He goes on Instagram, watches all these videos, and I see this lady doing gymnastics, and she's doing handstands, she's holding herself up like horizontally on the bars, and then she gets off, she's doing all these gymnastics things that it's just like, my dad says, how old do you think she is? 93 years old, doing stuff that I can't even do with my core exercises. So it all comes down to what? Muscle mass. Yeah, so this is huge, guys. Don't miss this. It's really important. So let's simulate a burst workout. Now, if I think everybody here can get up. What we're going to do is we're going to just run in place. Now, if you can lift your knees up, great. If you can't, just try to get your feet off the floor. Just try to move. Shake your tail feather. Just do something like this. Whatever you can do. And at the same time, you're going to move your arms up and down like this. All right? The more oomph you've got, the more oomph you should give. I'm only giving grace to those of us who have some level of handicap, but if you don't, I expect you to go full out for 20 seconds. Fair enough? All right, I want everybody to stand up on your feet. And just follow my lead. We're going to do this for 20 seconds on, and then we're going to rest for 20 seconds. Ready, go. Michelle's not running, she's dancing. She's ready to grab my arm and do the do-si-do here. Woohoo! All right. Just rest. We're going to rest for 20 seconds. Don't sit down. It's going to start getting warm in here. Yeah. Some of you guys are going to be sweating in a moment. Yeah, take the jacket off. We've got another round to go. Yeah. Another 5 seconds. We're ready for our second round here. 3, 2, 1, go. Get it, Barb. Yeah. There we go. I can't see the second hand. That's not good. All right, stop. All right, hang in there. We got one more round. Hold on. Bertina, can you do one more? Okay. If you can, you'll be all the better for it. All right, you guys are doing great. 5 more seconds. 2, 1, go. All right. Finish strong. This is good. You're burning fat. You're making muscle. You're getting younger. All right, good job. Give yourself a round of applause. Give your neighbor a high five. High five. Good job. Good job. Nice work. Thank you for playing full out. All right, so that was one set. So if you're going to start doing this, which of course I would recommend you would, you'll do one set and you'll do it how many days a week? 3 days a week. Now you can do what we just did as long as you're given like 90% of your max. You could run stairs, you could do sit-ups, you could do jumping jacks, you could do push-ups, any exercise, but time it for 20 seconds. Use your iPhone or use a stopwatch, and then rest 20 seconds and back on. So you'll just do like we did your first week. The second week, you're going to rest 2 minutes after you do one round of that, and then you're going to start it all over again. And do that 3 times that second week. And then the third week, you're going to do 3 sets of that. How many sets? 3 sets. And then after you do your three sets, then that's it. You'll look at your watch, and it should be 12 or 15 minutes at the most. And now you've turned on the switch for fat burning and muscle mass. Does that sound good? This is highly efficient. This is research-backed. I've read the research, guys. They've done numerous studies on this. And if you're serious about the effect that you're going to create after your exercise, try it, give it a shot, and then see what happens. You'll see. You'll be amazed. What's the best time of the day that you should exercise? Morning. Why? Because we all have schedules, and then everybody wants a piece of that, and they have other plans for us. And then there are many of us in the room who have a problem saying no. So we start off the day on a good foot, and then our day belongs to something or someone else, and there goes our workout. Right out the window, right? So get it done first thing in the morning. First thing in the morning, you're on an empty stomach, your testosterone levels are highest, human growth hormone is highest, and insulin is lowest. First thing in the morning, perfect hormonal place to start to get your body in fat burning. Does that make sense? All right, best compliance, and that's the easiest way to make sure that your metabolism starts off on the right foot. Now, on the opposite days that you don't burst train, if you still want to exercise and aid your metabolism or do something cardiovascularly beneficial, do a brisk walk. Do a brisk walk for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and get a good pace out there. If you like to go for 30 minutes, there's nothing wrong with that. You like to go for an hour, there's nothing wrong with that. Do whatever you want to do on those off days. You could ride a bike, you could swim, whatever you fancy, but just be consistent. I've said this often before. People ask me all the time, well, how do I get off my blood pressure medication? How do I start getting off my blood sugar medication, my diabetes medication? Can I stop taking it now? And my answer is, I don't recommend people just stop cold turkey taking their medication. What I do recommend is you start exercising every day like you take your medication every day. And when you do that, your blood pressure starts to stabilize. When your weight comes down, your blood pressure comes down, your blood sugar comes down, everything starts coming down and stabilizing, and the requirement for the dosage that you had before it is going to start reducing as well. Does that make sense? Yep. So that's the way to go about it. You don't exercise 3 days a week. You don't take your medication 3 days a week. If you take your medication every day, and you look at your exercise, your nutrition, and your lifestyle as a medication alternative, then you got to start doing it every day. That's how I look at it, and that's really the most practical strategy to deploy when it comes to something like this. All right, so somebody in here, I won't point that person out, Denise, who asked me like, how do you exercise when your joints hurt all over the place? I'm like, you know what? That's a great question. Because I guarantee you that Denise is not the only one in here whose joints hurt, whose whole body aches, whose knees, whose shoulders, and this and that hurts. And then I thought to myself, you know what? You can easily exercise from a chair. And I went on the internet. I'm not an expert at this, but I went on and I did a Google search, and you'd be surprised at all kinds of exercise routines that you can do to get your heart rate up sitting in your chair. Isn't that amazing? How many of you guys know how to Google? Okay, so if you need to do that, you can do that. But the other thing that I thought about, that many of you here who've been under my care for a long time, who may not be aware of, but there is a supplement that we use, and most if not all of the new patients that I take care of, who have degenerative disc disease, who have arthritis, who have joint issues, I literally put this in as part of the plan when I start taking care of them now, because it targets the joints. It speeds up the healing of the joints, supports normal joint mobility, comfort, joint integrity, normal joint function, and it helps with the normal joint mechanics. So if you haven't had the opportunity to be aware of this or take advantage of this, I've said, you know what, this is an ideal place for me to mention this, and if it's something that you think could benefit you, it would be appropriate if you're going to start implementing things like this. Does that make sense? And I take one of these every day. I've had an issue with my rotator cuff for the last couple of years, and honestly, I never turned the corner on my recovery until I started taking this. Never turned the corner. Finally, after I started taking 2 capsules a day, that's when I started making some radical improvement with my shoulder, with my rotator cuff. Same thing with my back. Since I started taking this, I haven't had a flare-up. So I said, if it's good enough for me, it's good enough for everybody that I take care of. So highly recommended. If you think that'll work well for you, give it a shot. Okay, so the second thing is, we started working on the exercise to balance your hormones. Now we're going to look at the food to also balance your hormones. Are you with me so far? So rule number 1, we have to stop the hallucinations. I told you, no more hallucination. No more. Turn to your neighbor and say, no more hallucination.
No more hallucination.
Stop the hallucinations. Stop the insanity. So you notice where that arrow is pointing. Where's it pointing to?
Food pyramid.
The old food pyramid that they still teach in elementary school. The old food pyramid, which is what takes a normal person and gives them diabetes, which is what takes a normal child and makes them obese, which is what turns an adult eventually obese and turns them into a type 2 diabetic, putting them on medication for that, blood pressure medication. This is where it all starts, where we think it's okay. We think that it's normal, that we can just have 60% of our daily caloric allowance in the form of carbohydrates, refined carbohydrates, breads, crackers, cereal, grains, right? Wow. Have you been lied to? Stop believing the lies, and especially if it comes from a government agency that subsidizes the farmers. When it comes to this, you're going to learn where the money trail points to, and it's all to the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration. First, they're going to poison you with the food, and then you're going to get so sick and diseased that they're going to poison you with the medication. That's how it works. So there's a hormonal response that you create that turns your body into a fat storer instead of a fat burner. And what is that? Anything that causes or provokes an insulin response. When you eat foods like this, what do you see there? Okay, so all the Italians in the room, do not shoot me. There's a handful of you here. I know who you are. I love the pasta. I love the Italian food just as much as everybody. But if you're diabetic, if you're looking to lose weight, don't kid yourself. Stop hallucinating. You cannot eat this stuff. I don't care where and when, and think that you're going to change the hormonal response in your body. You have to remove this stuff from the picture. And then, but the wheat has to be healthy. Like, if you go over to Publix over there, no offense, Bruce. You go over there to Publix, Bruce used to make he built all the Publixes, and Bruce and Publix go way back, but he's been here to understand. He knows that this is true, that when you go into the bakery, I just use them as an example because I remember going over there and looking in the bakery and I look at all the ingredients in the bread, and this is what you see. Enriched, unbleached wheat flour, right? Look, high fructose corn syrup, vegetable oil. So read the labels, guys. Just because it looks like it's healthy and it's whole wheat Couldn't be further from the truth. You have to protect yourself. You got to read the labels. So you shouldn't be having any of this at all if you're serious about correcting the hormonal response and correcting your metabolism. Are you with me? Cereals, the cereals that you have in the morning, the Cheerios, I don't care how healthy it looks on the box. It's all clever marketing. Because if it's got grains in it, which way is your insulin response going? Yep. And what's your body doing? Putting you into fat storing. You're storing fat by the choices that you make. And it's as simple as that. Even the potatoes, anything that provokes an insulin response will take you out of fat burning. And if that's not what you want, then we have to make better decisions. So now we have to get the right stuff in. Now this is the real food pyramid. What do you see, the real food pyramid? What do you see, what should the majority of our diet be? Yeah, you got your meats there. Yep, you got your meats there. Who likes prime rib? Who likes ribeye? Who likes all the? If it's grass-fed, you can have it once in a while, not a problem. But you got your poultry there. You got your veal, venison, bison, all these grass-fed wonderful meats. You can even get organic chicken, thighs, breasts. Just make sure it's it's organic, grass-fed, that they're not abused, the animals, and you're off to a good start with the base and the foundation there. What else do you have there? All your oils, coconut oil, olive oil, seeds, and then you got your greens. So the majority of our daily food intake should be proteins, vegetables, and good fats. Now what else do you see up there? You see some dairy. If your body can tolerate dairy, God bless you. For some of us, it just sets off an inflammatory response. We get allergies, we get all kinds of stuff. I can do a little bit of it, and then my body can only take so much. But it's a good, if it's grass-fed, it's a good source of protein. And there's probiotics. There's a lot of benefits to it if your body can tolerate it, and I would recommend in moderation. And then you got your low-sugar fruits, and then you got some beans, you got nuts, and we'll circle back to all that. So when you're eating like this, is there anything in that picture that provokes an insulin response? No or no? No. Right. So this is what has to be on your shopping list when you go to the grocery store. And this is what turns into not just your meals for dinner, but for breakfast, for lunch, and the planning and the preparation that goes into that. And leftovers are great, especially when you make lots of it. And it's just easy to warm up. And then you set yourself up for success. So, what kind of fat burning? Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. How can we be assured that because the label says that it's organic, that it's actually organic? Because that's a marketing ploy too. Right.
That's a great question. How can you be 100% sure that it's organic if it says organic? I would say really the only way is to hire a private investigator and run our own, basically. Yeah, you go on the internet, call the company. One more.
What about eggs?
What about eggs?
Like there's organic eggs, there's grass-fed chickens, but they're saying yesterday I read something from Gary Ashton. It's good to have the brown eggs versus to the white eggs.
Right. Yeah. The organic, cage-free. Those are the ones that you want to go for. Absolutely. Yep. All right. So look at this. I almost forgot. Fat-burning foods. So if you're going to have snacks, which I'm going to show you is is good. If you're going to do some of the recommendations that we talk about, what are some of the best snacks to have is what? Almonds, walnuts. These are good, healthy fats. You get a serving of that, it's going to be a ton of fat in there. And I can tell you that you will have boundless energy, and you never get fat from good fat. You understand that? I remember that was a thing that I grew up with, and I didn't know better, I didn't know any nutrition, but I remember just my dad with a bag of cashews sitting there watching TV, and he got disgusted with himself because he ate too much. He threw them down, he was like, too much fat. And that was my impression. I was like, nuts. Like, you eat too much nuts, you're going to get fat. Nothing could be further from the truth. Good, healthy fat will not get you fat. It actually helps your body burn fat. So these are good snacks to have. And avocados, same thing, put you in fat burning. Coconut oil. If anybody has an air fryer, right? Carlos, you got an air fryer? Good. Coconut oil on the air fryer, and on your foods in the air fryer, or if you're going to stir fry, you can put the coconut oil on that. It takes super high heat. It's good. You don't want to ever cook, stir fry in olive oil. That requires low heat. But extra virgin olive oil is fat burning. You want to put that on all your fruits, not fruits. Salads and vegetables. Thank you. Salads and vegetables. So you guys know, make sure you have copious amounts of that. And if you're going to have a salad, what's always the dressing of choice? Olive oil and what else? Vinegar. Why is vinegar conducive to fat burning? Does anybody know? Vinegar is acidic. And yeah, because of the pH. So when you're starting to eat, your body has to make gastric juices to start to break that stuff down. If you have oil and vinegar, it helps aid the digestive process because of the acidity. And there's studies that have shown that it actually helps to stabilize your blood sugar. And that, if anything that helps you to stabilize your blood sugar, is also conducive to fat burning. Did you know that? What else can do that? Apple cider vinegar. Yeah. Chug a little bit of that before you eat. You're good to go. You can have some of that, in the morning on an empty stomach. Very, very healthy. It leaves an alkaline effect in your body, even though it's acidic. When it goes down, it helps your body to be alkaline, and it does aid with fat burning. Did you know that? Yeah. So help yourself to some of these things. Green tea, coffee. Did you know that there are multitudes of studies showing that people who have 3 to 6 cups of coffee a day cut their risk of diabetes by 20 to 40%. Did you know that? Yeah. Now, I'm not going to advocate 6 cups of coffee a day. I won't do that. But what I will tell you is that if you have 2 to 3 cups a day, that's what they say. It will give you the benefits of helping with your blood sugar, helping with your metabolism. It also helps prevent dementia and Alzheimer's as well. So these are important things, and we've been told that caffeine is bad. It's not that caffeine is bad; it's too much caffeine is bad. But if you have moderate amounts, and you have the organic type of coffee without the herbicides and pesticides and all those other things, there's a lot of benefit. Other than that, with a lot of the ingredients that come in coffee, antioxidants, minerals, and things like that are very beneficial for you. So for the purposes of fat burning tonight, just remember that if you have a cup of coffee in the morning or in the afternoon, there's nothing wrong with that to help you keep awake, but it's also going to help you stay in fat burning. Does that make sense? How about chocolate? Is chocolate fat burning? No. Hershey's milk chocolate? Cacao, 70% cacao and more, like real dark chocolate. Yeah, a little bit of that, a little square of that. You want to have that for dessert? Yes. But again, we're talking about what? Moderation. Use it, don't abuse it. Right? But yeah, there is some benefit to that. And so these are the things, especially green tea. But I would recommend making sure that your closets are flush with these things. Butter, you can put butter anytime I have a steak. Drew, you probably do the same thing. You slather it with butter, right? Anytime we have a steak, if I cook it at the house or if I go out, I always ask them to bring me a little thing of butter. And we all do that now. So butter, real butter. Yeah, make sure, obviously, you guys know no margarine, no hydrogenated fats. So just to give you some examples real quick, the Breakfast of Champions, of course, is the shake, the Ultraplex Complete Clean. And the reason why I like this is because it is clean. It doesn't provoke an insulin response. It's easy, 26 grams of protein. It's got your vitamins. It's got all the good stuff in there. And it's a good way to start your day with keeping your blood sugar level stable. And then on top of that, I'll have some low sugar fruits, some berries. That's a picture from my kitchen that I took a few months ago. And then I have some almond butter with it. And the almond butter is the organic kind. You want to make sure that it's not roasted. There's no preservatives in it. No hydrogenated fats. No cane sugar. Just be really careful with that. It should be almonds only. So you're going to see a vast range in price with almond butter. And the lower the price, the what?
The more crap.
The more crap's in it. Thank you very much. So it's true. You get what you pay for. And And then so what else can you have? You get scrambled eggs and you get your vegetables in there. That's a good breakfast also. You can have some avocados for lunch. Always go with a salad, always go with a salad. That helps to keep your blood sugar stable. And then you have a piece of meat on top of it, your Greek salad or Caesar salad with salmon, one of my favorites. You have a Greek salad, you could have some chicken on there. You got your feta cheese, or your, that's the cheese in and of itself is a protein source. But again, make sure whatever salad that you have, you want to get the extra virgin olive oil and the balsamic vinegar or the red wine vinegar. It doesn't matter. Never, ever, ever tear your dressing out of a what? Out of a packet. Because what's in it? All the crap. Yes. So stay away from the crap. That's our recommendation for tonight. Okay, dinner. So what do we have for dinner? Look at all the choices for dinner. What do we have? What do you see there? What do they all have in common? They all have what?
Vegetables.
They all. You see your potatoes there. You see your pasta. You see your rice. You don't see any of that? No. For goodness sake, I put up the wrong slides. I can't fool anybody. Okay. What do you see, JP? It's what? It's meat and vegetables. Meat and vegetables. Is meat and vegetables going to provoke an insulin response? No. So if you have that, and then your last meal is at like 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, and you don't eat till like 12, 14, 16 hours later, you're going to be on your way to start your body to dropping off some fat at the bus stop. You'll watch how fast that happens. But if you blow it, if you have your bread at night, if you have your pasta at night, if you have your rice or your potatoes, you're programming your body to pack it on while you sleep. And you wake up in the morning, and it doesn't matter if it's 12 hours later, your belt is going to be tighter, not looser. Are you with me so far? If you're going to blow any meal, the one to do it is in the morning. But not at night. That's the most important one. You have to eat lean at night. That's the most important meal that you're going to have. And then you have a fighting chance to get some traction with this. So another thing that was, I'm going to take one more question. I'm going to ask everybody to hold until the end because we still have a lot more to go. Yeah.
All right. Okay. For basically people that have gastric bypass, usually we eat every 2 up to 3 hours because we eat small meals. It depends on what they have. But for me, I usually, even if I do that, sometime in the middle of the night, I get this burning sensation, like emptiness, where I have to take probably a shake.
If you do eat or you don't eat?
If even though I eat till 6 or 7, because that's when I get home. But it's not all the time, but there are times I get this burning sensation, like acidity, like cramping, I need something in my stomach.
Yeah, I think yours may be a different condition, a different case. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you suggest that I would? Usually I do a shake.
Well, we may need to put that off to a private consultation. Okay. Yeah, because this is for generally speaking, you should be giving your body a rest at night. And as the week was approaching the workshop, I was reaching out and asking you guys. I was asking some people, hey, what do you want to learn about? If there was one thing you would want to learn about at the workshop, what would that be? And some of you guys gave me some things to consider because I really want to make this personal for you. And you know what? It only takes one person to make one recommendation, and the rest of the room, there's going to be a half a dozen or a dozen of you that are going to take this home and start doing it. And one of these things is intermittent fasting. It's called the 16-8. And what does that mean? It means you have an 8-hour window to eat, and you fast for 16 hours. And this is incredibly simple. When you start to think about it, what are you doing all day long when you eat? I mean, typically when we eat the standard American diet, we are going to have carbs in there. And those carbs are going to turn into sugar. And the sugar goes to your liver. And your liver, it turns it into glycogen. And your liver is storing up the glycogen. It's storing up these sugar stores. It's storing up your energy. And when it gets full of that, and it has enough, guess what it starts doing? It starts converting all of those calories to fat. Yeah. So a good thing to do would be to give your body a chance to burn all that off. Give your liver a chance. And what's the only way to do that, to enable your body to start burning off all of that? Don't eat. To give it a rest. Don't eat. I mean, every religion in every country, in every part of the world, over every civilization in the course of human history has always had some aspect of fasting tied to it. For good reason. For really good reason. The health benefits that come from that, not to mention the spiritual benefits as well. And so if you've ever fasted, you know that it's not easy in the beginning, but once you get past the second day or the third day, you're not really hungry. Now, you don't have to do that. You can do something super easy, which is very, very effective. And I've seen that because this is part of what we do with our weight loss program in the office. But you don't have to be on that program to do this. Anybody can do this. I do this. I typically finish my last meal at 6:30. And then I don't eat until 7 or 8 or sometimes 9 o'clock the next day. And I do that deliberately because I want to give my body a rest. I want to give my GI tract a rest. And I want the benefits of fasting. And I want my insulin levels to be as low as they can possibly be. And I want to help my body get into fat burning and heal. You know, your body can't heal when it's digesting food. Did you know that? Yeah, it's one or the other. So the way this works is you can eat for 8 hours, and then you don't eat for 14 hours or 16 hours. If it's too hard for you, try a 14-hour fast. But 16 hours, I can tell you, you wake up in the morning, you don't have breakfast. 8 o'clock, maybe you have some lemon water. A couple hours later, you have coffee or tea. And then at lunch, at noon, you have lunch. And a few hours later, you have a snack. And then at 6 o'clock, you have dinner. And maybe you want to have another snack before you go to sleep. But you don't have any food after 6 or 8 o'clock. Now, you can adjust that back and forth. If your last meal is, not at 8, maybe it's at 6, your 16-hour fast is going to end at 10 o'clock, right? But if you're done at 8 o'clock, if you eat late, you push it up till noon. This is the window of what has been a very successful strategy for many people. Many people use this very successfully, but you have to make sure that you do it, you plan it, and that you do it consistently. Now, like I said, we've used this successfully in our office. There comes a point, though, where people get discouraged, or they hit a plateau, or they hit a ceiling, and that's where you need help kind of pushing through with that. So I would recommend that. And then sometimes it's not easy going to sleep on an empty stomach. Has anybody ever experienced that? Okay. So one of the things that I do, a half hour before I go to sleep, I take a little scoop of this. It's called Neuromag. And the Neuromag has something called it's magnesium, but it's a special type of magnesium, L-threonate. And what it does is it has the ability, it's the only form of magnesium that's able to cross the blood-brain barrier. And that's what enables your body to really start to sink into a good state of REM sleep. And I can tell you that this has made a difference for me. I would recommend this, not just because it supports better sleep, but it also supports better blood pressure. Now, what does sleep have to do with losing weight? What happens when you're sleep deprived? You're stressed out. And when you're stressed out, what does it do to your cortisol levels? And when your cortisol levels go up, what else goes up? Insulin. Yeah. It throws your hormones all out of whack. And one of the greatest issues as far as causative factors for weight loss resistance is sleep deprivation, or not being able to get a good night's sleep, get REM sleep. You could sleep for 8 hours, but if you don't get REM sleep, you've got brain damage coming. I can tell you, sometimes I wake up, I track my REM sleep on my watch, and every once in a while, a blue moon, I have like very little REM sleep. My watch will tell me, be careful, it's going to be a rough day for you. But it's true. But this will definitely help that, and if you could sleep better, it helps to reset and rebalance your hormones, and it'll help get you into fat burning and help with weight loss. That's why I have that there. Does that make sense? Okay. So just another thing, again, this came out of what I was asking some of you in the room. And again, hoping you'll make application with that. All right, Circle of Champions. So I want to take a brief moment to call up my dynamic team, Deborah and Tamara. Are you there, Tamara? Are you there, Deborah? Can everybody give them a big round of applause? Yeah. They're the best. I don't say they're the best. They do. Where did I see that? I saw that over there. All right. So we have a couple of awards to give out, and the first one is for perfect adjustment attendance. JP, do you know what perfect adjustment attendance is? That's for somebody who never, ever, 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 ever misses an appointment. And you know what? I know somebody who looks just like you. So everybody give JP. Give JP a big round of applause. Yeah. All right. And our other recipient is not present tonight, but maybe he'll be watching this. So Mike Picarillo has 6 or more workshops, so we'll give it to him on his next visit. And then I also want to recognize somebody. Drew, will you come on up here? I want to recognize Drew for his achievement. And Drew, I don't know if you've seen Drew milling around our office in the past, but he was, I don't know, 50, 60 pounds.
I was 333.
Wait, hold on. Okay, testing. How much did you weigh when you first started?
333.
333. Now he's a big guy, but he was a little bit bigger. This way.
Now I'm down to 2. This morning was 271.
271. So yeah, and you were, I think, a little bit more, and then you went away, and then you
Yeah, I gained 12 pounds I stopped at Thanksgiving, and then I gained all that weight. 12 pounds.
12 pounds.
And I've lost most of that already. So
Okay.
now I took the paperwork. When you do the program, they will run a sheet that gives you your visceral fat, your body fat, your body mass index, and your metabolic age.
Right.
My wife went from being 59 to 39. Now she's 33.
Wow.
She's going to be 70 in June.
Wow.
That's a good metabolism.
Yes, that's a great metabolism. I took that paperwork to my cardiologist, and he's like, "This is really good. Keep up the good work." And I was like, "Can we cut back the meds? Talk to me the next time." I said, "By that time, I will have lost 100 pounds.
Yes.
It'll be in May."
Everybody give him a big round of applause. So, why do you think you were so successful? I mean, what was it about the program that helped you break through, to get to this point?
Her.
Accountability.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Good.
You come in every week, and Deborah runs the paperwork, and she shows you where your body fat is. And
Yeah.
if you haven't been consuming enough water, the body fat goes up.
Right.
So
This is good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited for you. This is the most important time in your life for you to get control of your health, invest in that. And then, I mean, you got the best of times right in front of you there with your family, your children, your grandchildren,
Yeah.
great-grandchildren, God willing.
no.
Everybody give him a round of applause. Thank you so much. Really proud of him. I appreciate you. Yeah, and he's not done. He's not done. The best is yet to come. All right. Everybody stand up, and I want you to just take a load off. And we're not done yet. We've got a few more minutes, but I just want you to get some blood going. Turn to your neighbor on the right, and put your hands on their shoulders. And go ahead and squeeze. Get a little massage going. Get that blood going. Good. All right. Give it a little karate chop there. Good job. Excellent. All right, turn around and love your other neighbor.
Just relax.
And karate chop. Get that stress out. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, good job, guys. Excellent. All right. Have a seat. Let's finish up. Got a few more minutes. All right, so the second thing, that was just number one. That was 1 out of 3. So the second thing is eliminate the toxins. Toxins have an affinity for the thyroid. They love to attack the thyroid. And, obviously your thyroid is an important part of your metabolism, right or right? Right. So we have to look at that. And then the other thing that all throughout your body, you have to understand that when your body is highly toxic, your body will make more fat to protect itself from the toxins. So if you can lose the toxins, you will lose the fat. Everybody got that? So what are the main toxins that are poisoning us today? We have some lead in our water supply. We have lead in deodorants. We have lead in some of the paint that's in our houses. We've all been exposed to lead at an early age. Many of us have been exposed to lead while we were in utero. It was passed down from our parents. Studies show that it goes down 4 generations. It affects us genetically as well. So it's a real factor. There's aluminum in medications and vaccines. There's amalgam fillings, which many of us have. Highly toxic. We have the sudsing agents in the soap, in the shampoo, and some of the toothpastes. If you're not using natural stuff, you're getting that cumulatively building up. And that, you see corn and soy, which is 70% of all of the glyphosate, which is the Roundup that's used. I don't have to tell you how dangerous Roundup is, right? How much cancer it causes. It's been proven. There's been lawsuits. There's been litigation. There's been settlements. So if you're not, even if you are buying organic, there's stuff that's seeping through there, and it's in the form of anything that has corn or soy. And we really have to just come to terms with the fact that some of this is getting in, whether we like it or not, no matter how careful we are, it is. So according to the EPA, our indoor environment is 2 to 5 times more toxic than our outdoor environment. So we've got toxins that we have to deal with, and this is part of the equation as far as why your body doesn't want to let go of the weight. Another part is all the diet foods, the artificial sweeteners. Did you know that when you use sweet and low, saccharin, any of these lean cuisine, Weight Watchers foods that are loaded with chemicals, do you realize that studies show that these are contributing to persistent weight loss resistance? Again, you could watch the scale go down, but it's coming right back up because it causes disruption with the hormones and the neurotransmitters and the normal chemistry in your body, not to mention contributing to diabetes. So Crystal Light, big no-no. Diet Coke, diet sodas, big no-no. That will cause diabetes and weight gain faster than the regular stuff, the high fructose corn syrup. So stay away from all that stuff. You guys know better. Any of these snacks that have seemingly healthy labels, like the Quaker guy, just be leery of that. It's clever marketing, and there's a lot of damage in there because when you look and you read the label, the hydrogenated vegetable oils, partially hydrogenated trans fats, it all is toxic. And whether there be chemical toxins or these toxins that are in the food, the artificial sweeteners, the oils, they all do something in common to the cells in your body. You know what that is? Inflammation. Everybody say that word, inflammation. Yes. Now you see those cells on the left down there? Those cells are normal blood cells, and you can see how round and well-defined they are. The cell walls are made up of fat. What are they made up of? Fat. And when you have acidity, when you have inflammation, when you have all the damage from all these toxins and artificial sweeteners and the hydrogenated oils, they come to the surface of that cell and they light it up on fire. And they do a lot of damage at the cellular level. And the surface of that cell is made up of what? Fat. Okay, so what do you need? What does your body need to repair and regenerate and heal those cells? More fat. So you have to reduce the inflammation with good fats, and then any sort of anti-inflammatory foods and supplements that you can eat are also going to contribute to that. If you look at the picture on the right, those are the cells that have become damaged from inflammation. So that's what you want to consider in terms of eliminating this, adding more good fats, getting the toxins out, and make sure that you have good anti-inflammatory supplements to help with that. How many of you guys use curcumin, the Ultraplex curcumin? All right, it's not just a matter of taking one a day to keep the doctor away. If you've got arthritic problems, bad knees, bad hips, bad back, you need to be getting copious amounts of this in there. And especially if you're toxic or you have weight loss resistance problems, this is something that will really help. Now, I would recommend if you do have arthritic issues, degenerative issues in your knees or your back, you take a couple of these in the morning and a couple at night. 2 in the morning and 2 at night. So this is really important, a powerful anti-inflammatory, powerful anti-cancer supplement as well. And so that's why I put that in there as part of the strategy to address all these issues. The other thing is getting the toxins out. An easy, low-level, gentle daily detox can be found in the Complete Clean. It has something called N-acetylcysteine in it. Do you know what that is? N-acetylcysteine is the precursor that your body needs to make glutathione. And when you boost the glutathione, you're supporting the liver to get the toxins out. Very easy, very safe, very effective to boost your body's own detoxification ability. And so that's just part of what you get, in addition to all the other things that we talked about, keeping your blood sugar stable. It's got the protein, it's got the vitamins, it's got the minerals, the antioxidants. Also has green tea phytosome. What benefits does green tea have? Fat burning. It's thermogenic, just like coffee. What does it do to your metabolism? Raises it up, yeah. So, you kill a lot of birds with this one stone, so to speak, and that's why I told you it's the breakfast of champions. Even if you do your fasting and you don't have breakfast until lunch, you can have that as a meal replacement. And I've had lots of people, over the course of many months, lose 10, 20 pounds just from adding this and taking a meal out. So that's the flyer that you got there, all the resources, anything with a green Ultraplex label on it, not just these, but anything available. There's limited supplies, but whatever we have, you're entitled to 15% discount tonight. We only discount at the workshops for to support you and reward you for being here, and also to encourage you to make application for what you're learning tonight. Remember, information without application is what? Stop hallucinating. Get the fat-burning resources. So that's what you got there. That's your incentive. And again, we don't have enough for everybody, but there should be a good amount there. The Neuromag, the curcumin, the joint performance, Ultraplex Complete Clean. Okay, and let me get this going here. I can't even see. Forgot my glasses. It's getting to that point. All right.
Being overweight can cause a number of health problems. But did you know it increases your risk for several types of cancer? There are many ways that excess fat can increase your cancer risk. Here are the 3 main ways. Too much body fat can trigger inflammation. Excess body fat and resulting inflammation causes the body to produce too much insulin, and fat cells produce estrogen. Inflammation, excess insulin, and extra estrogen all cause cells to divide more than usual. This rapid division can result in DNA damage, which can result in cancer.
Okay, so that's why being overweight is such a concern, like we started talking about in the beginning. One way to measure your risk factor is something called BMI. Does everybody know what BMI is? Body mass index. Very good. So it's important to know what your BMI is. A normal BMI is under 24.5. If you're between 24.5 and 29.9, you're overweight. But once you go over 30, you're obese. And the World Health Organization has classified this as the most dangerous place to be, putting the person at risk for cancer, diabetes, fatty liver disease, and heart disease. So if your BMI is over 30, you have an 80% greater risk of kidney, liver, and stomach cancer. Did you know that? 80%. So it's important to know where your BMI is. Wouldn't you agree? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this goes way beyond just losing weight. This is about your health and mortality. Remember in the beginning we said that it takes 8 years off of your life expectancy. If we want to live out all the years that God had intended for us, we have to stop hallucinating. We have to wake up and smell the coffee. This is where the rubber meets the road. Brain tumor, pancreatic cancer. If your BMI is over 30, you have a 50% increased risk of death from that. Bowel and bladder, gallbladder, 30%. So I don't have to beat a dead horse, but I can tell you that it's really important to know where your BMI is. And how do you know what your BMI is? Like Drew said, you stand on a scale. When you stand on your scale, you take your shoes and socks off. We put a low-level electrical impulse by the scale through your body, and then your body is able, the algorithm on the scale and the software that we have is able to break everything down for you. Your BMI, your fat mass, your muscle mass, your water percentage, fat percentage, and then it gives you a printout. And that's what he was talking about, the printout there. And when you get that, it's instantaneous. Deborah goes over with you and she shows you exactly what your weight is. She shows you what your BMI is. She shows you if you're in the danger zone or you're below the danger zone. Whatever your goals are, at least you know what your starting point is. Your fat percentage. And then here's an important one, your visceral fat rating. What's your visceral fat? That's the fat around the organs. You know, your visceral fat around your liver, your heart, your intestines. And did any of you guys see the Dr. Oz video where he took the omentum fat out? That's what that is. When your belly gets big, it's not because of the fat under your skin. It's the fat actually around your organs, suffocating your organs. And that's what the visceral fat is part of. If you're in double digits or over that, it's big trouble. Big problems coming down the pike. And you can't rob from Peter to pay Paul. So that's a big concern, especially that liver. The program is supposed to target this. Does everybody know what this is? This is fat. How much does that weigh, JP? What do you think? 25 pounds. Bertina, how much do you think that weighs? 15 pounds. 5 pounds. 5 pounds. How could it feel like it weighs so much? That's what it is. And so this is 5. Many of us in the room, we're carrying around like an extra 6 or 7 of these. Think about it. And imagine if I took 6 or 7 of these off of you, how much less your back would hurt, how much less your knees would hurt, how much more energy you'd have, right? And that's what this is able to measure, because it's, you know, your body fat percentage and your body fat mass up there tells you exactly how much of this you've got going on, because the point is to make sure that you can reduce that and not lose muscle and water in the process. Body water percentage, as Drew was saying, when you lose fat, your water percentage should go up. When you lose fat, your muscle mass percentage, so to speak, should go up. And that's how we know when you're looking and you're tracking with this, every time you weigh in, that you're going in the right direction, that you're losing fat and not just water or muscle. That make sense? Yes. Muscle mass tells you, I mean, it's all trackable. And then your metabolic age. And so, you know, again, if you're 60 or 70 years old and your metabolic age shows 90, you know, you got a big problem. And you could lose weight. Anybody can lose 10 pounds, like we said, 15 pounds. But if your metabolic age is creeping like a turtle, it's only a matter of time until it comes back on. Now, if you can get your metabolic age down to your chronological age or below, then you got a fighting chance to keep the weight off. Doesn't that make sense? I remember when I did this program a few years ago, I was 46 when I did it. And when I was done with it, my metabolic age was 30. My waist came down 3 inches, and I pretty much kept it off. My waist is still the same as when I did it. And this was I did it back in 2015. Yeah, so, and I managed to keep the weight off. So that's what it is. So let me just break this down and make it simple. There are some of you in here who don't need this program. There are some of you in here who are a candidate for the program. Here's what we see happen. People try to diet on their own and get off to a good start. But inevitably, 99% of the time, what happens is you get stuck, you blow it, or you hit a plateau, and then you're discouraged, and then you stop. What this program does is it takes you through the plateau breaker. So you get past that point where you think you're done, and it gets you past it, and then you keep losing weight. Losing weight isn't like this. It doesn't go like this. Losing weight goes like this, and then it goes like this, and then it goes down, and then that. And you need something evidence-based to point it out and say, no, even though you put on a pound or 2, you're still moving in the right direction overall, globally speaking. But you wouldn't necessarily know that unless you have an evidence-based outcome to show you that.
Hi, my name's Larry. I've been on the program for a few days short of 2 months. My 40-day weight loss period, I lost 33 pounds. And my numbers across the board are great. I was taking one medication for blood pressure. I'm not taking that anymore. My metabolic age when I started here was 63, which wasn't bad because I'm 62. But after 40 days, it was 37, if you can believe that. My body mass index is healthy. Everything is great across the board.
So this is a system that we're talking about. It's not just a bunch of supplements or a food plan. You know, we give you a workbook so that you understand how to eat, what not to eat, your meals, your recipes. There's a journal that you fill out so that you know exactly what you're supposed to do, how to do it, when to do it. And then you have somebody like Deborah, who's an expert at this, who's helped hundreds of people successfully reverse this condition and help them reduce and get off medications and really transform their health. You get an accountability partner, and that was another thing that Drew said, which helped him to get to where he's at now. I mean, it's hard to do it on your own, but when you have a system, which is a combination of all these things that work together, and then you get an amplified effect from it. It's systematic, and it's not just a bunch of stuff that we can take and watch it happen like magic. It has to be implemented systematically. And there's a guarantee, if you do everything that we show you to do, for some of you in this room, you may be a candidate for this. And if you start the program, if you do everything that we show you to do, you don't cheat, you dot your I's, you cross your T's, and you don't lose at least 15 pounds in the 30 days, we put you through a second program at our expense. And it works. It works, and many people do more than one round. So they keep doing it. Tom Brady.
I'm Tom Brady. I've been, today's the 16th
like
of
Tom Brady.
April.
Wow.
I've been on the program my 43rd day now. I've lost a total of 25 pounds, and I've cut my insulin down to under a third of what I was taking.
Awesome.
So I'm going in the right direction. Program works.
So proud. Thank you.
It's my 40th day, and I have lost 24 pounds. The thing I love most about this program is, for me, my energy level was way down. With this program, I'm more agile, flexible. I can play with my son. I'm not tired, so I would recommend this program to anyone. Maybe you might be skeptical, but it does work. Look at me.
Good job.
I love that. Love her accent too. All right, so if you think this is something that you can benefit from, I would recommend that you make an appointment to get with Deborah. She'll do your body composition analysis. Normally it's $99. As an event special, we do it for $37. Stand on the scale. She'll do the printout. You'll know exactly what your numbers are. If you have a goal, she'll sit down and review your goals with you and show you if you're a candidate for it. If you're a candidate, she'll go over everything else that the program entails. But there's some of you in here I think could benefit from it. But make your appointment with her tonight, and we'll honor that discounted rate. And then the last thing is proper nerve supply. So spinal lesions. What are spinal lesions? Spinal lesions are like, they could be subluxations. What are subluxations? When the bone shifts out of alignment. And what else happens? It interferes with the nerves. And if it interferes with the nerves, what does it do to your health? It could cause health problems. Well, this particular research institute found that lesions or subluxations of the atlas axis, C1 and C2, were associated with abnormal function of the pituitary, which resulted in abnormal what? Hormone secretions. So does that mean having the upper part of your neck? How many of you guys know what this bone is called? Raise your hand. What's it called? Atlas. What's it called? Atlas. Turn to your neighbor and say Atlas. Atlas. Okay, and then the next time I come in the room, you could turn and say to me, "Hey Doc, how's my atlas?" And I will check your atlas. I'm always going to check your atlas whether you ask me or not, right? What am I doing with that thing that sticks a light here and here? I'm checking your atlas. Gee Doc, my neck doesn't hurt. My problem's down here. I'm not just worried about your back. I'm worried about your overall health. How many of you guys want your nervous system functioning at 100%? Yeah. So that's why we do this, to make sure that you have every opportunity to be at your best. Subluxations at the top level interfere with the blood supply to the head, can cause headaches, nervousness, insomnia, head colds, high blood pressure, nervous breakdowns, chronic tiredness. Could this contribute to weight loss resistance? Yes. Okay, what about in the bottom of the neck there? Where does that nerve go to? The thyroid gland. Does that have anything to do with weight loss resistance? What if there's subluxation going to your liver? Can you get the toxins out? No. What if there's subluxation in your kidneys? Can your kidneys detoxify? No. Poke your sister in the arm. Wake her up! I'm almost done. I always pick on people who are falling asleep. Don't take it personally. It's not the first time. So, what about your reproductive organs? So all these things are intimately involved with weight loss and just your overall health. But what's the only way to make sure that you don't have a bone out of alignment putting pressure on the nerve, interfering with your body's ability to regulate normal function? What's the only way to know if you have that or not? By getting checked, by getting a scan, an x-ray. I mean, what's more important? Waiting to have the pain, waiting till you have degeneration, or finding it and fixing it before it rears its ugly head? Right? How many of you guys have ever had to take care of a family member or a friend with cancer? You ever seen the bills, the medical bills for one chemotherapy treatment? $20,000. You ever seen people, or met people who have had neck surgery or back surgery, and you see the medical bills for that? Well over $100,000.
Medication.
Yeah, I mean, what is it worth to prevent health problems when you can find them and correct them before they ever get to that point? And so, all of you guys are on a program now to make sure that we fix it as well as we can. But what's more important than correcting these issues? Maintaining it. What happens if you don't maintain the spinal correction that we give? It goes right back. Yeah. So how long do you think it's a good idea to continue to keep up with your adjusting schedule? Forever? Is that what you're saying? That's what I do. I go for my adjustment every Monday, just like many of you guys. So I only do things that make sense. I don't like to waste time. And I eat good, and I exercise, and I do all the things that I teach you guys to do. And I don't blow smoke. Huh? This is the recipe for good health. As much as I know, with the knowledge I know, to do as much as I can do for myself, my family, for you guys. You're my family too. I don't take care of you any different than my son, my 18-year-old, came in this afternoon. I adjusted him. Same thing. You know, I'm a servant. I serve God by serving you. That's it. I work for him. He takes care of me. I take care of you. He takes care of me. That's how it works. Who do you take care of? Don't you need your health to take care of other people? Who do you work for? Who do you serve? Yeah. We don't live for ourselves. We were created in his image. That's where our authority, that's where our self-image comes from. That's where our humility comes from. That's where our boldness comes from. Right? From the creator that we serve. And man, what a blessing it is to have good health so that we could do the job that God has for us. What a blessing, isn't it? So thank you for giving me the opportunity to take care of you so you can do your job and be the best that you can be. All right, well, thank you for being here tonight. See Deborah for your appointments, supplements, whatever you guys need. Make sure you see them on the way out. Love and appreciate you. God bless, guys.